the fans seem to, I don't know, maybe got it spot on in terms of their starting lineup because it got you a win. The formation that won you the game. Just your thoughts on the game today.
Yeah, evening everybody. I think we made a little tweak to the way we wanted to play to accommodate the fan selections, and it turned out to be quite a decent balance. We got happy further up the field than Rama, and we overloaded one side and got happy out a few times. I didn't think we made enough of the good possession that we had. We weren't as efficient, and even though I thought it was quite even the game, I thought that we were better in the second half. Possession was more dynamic, we broke their lines more often, we pressed, we committed to pressing, counter-pressing, and our movement around the box was better. So the penalty came from a very, very good attack, and I was disappointed that we didn't manage to win it in 90 minutes. And therefore you go into penalties and you're hoping you're going to go away a winner and not a loser. But the lads did well, and I think they can be pleased with their night's work. And for me it was good because I saw a lot of players tonight.
Coach, you were working with the champion coach Morena. What did you make of the champion coach, Coach Baxter?
Well, we've got a feeling that when we have these Carling Cup games that we want the coach to have as good an experience as he can get. He is a Chiefs fan, so meeting the players and being around the players is +1, but +2, 3 and 4 is usually how we treat him, and if I treat him as if he's an intruder or I treat him with a bit of respect. So I hope he feels that he's been treated with respect, and I hope he's felt that we've had an exchange and not student and teacher, because that's what I've tried to do, and he's had a bit of input. You know, I think you saw him getting up and talking to a couple of the players, and so we've allowed that, and I think that gives him the experience that he deserves.
Well, with that, Coach Morena, congratulations, firstly on winning the competition to be the champion coach, but also winning the Carling Black Label Cup. Take us through, firstly, just your experience, but also, in the same breath, your game strategy that won you the Carling Black Label Cup.
Pele ke tlo qala Kaizer ho leboha motho kaofela feeling opportunity I phile nako ya hore a nshebelle le batho kaofela hae, and then not forgetting to thank Carling Black Label, M Sport, Kaizer Chiefs, Orlando Pirates for engaging for this campaign. One of the best experience ever that one will ever ask for. The experience for Nakhotman Laka, it was one of the best. So from the first day I got here on Saturday last week, from the training, the activities we got through this processing, it was one of the best feeling. Like I never thought of the football in a more information like Nikibona fela ko TV. I never thought, but definitely one of the best.
I think that sums it up. That effectively sums it up. So we will go through the same procedure, and we'll open up for questions. I actually have a lot of questions from the focus room, so let me start with those questions. Coach Baxter, I'm going to try and squeeze in as many because we don't have that much time. One says, what did you make of Sekgota's performance? Let me also throw in another one while you're doing that. What are the chances of Sabelo Khadebe getting regular game time after today's performance? Okay, let's deal with those two, Coach Baxter.
KG came on. We'd got our plans for the second half, trying to accommodate what we thought would be the fans' choice. KG was going to come on. The fans chose him. He came on and we got into some areas that we got into in the first half, but from there we didn't affect the game, but KG affected the game. He came on and we got him in the spaces that he wants, and he took on his fullback, he cut inside and opened the game up for us, and I liked his performance. He's got a little bit of work to do in terms of our general shape and understanding the movement of the other players, but I liked his performance. Bibo played well at times, and yet he doesn't get enough out of his obvious skill and his obvious pace. He doesn't get enough out of it, and that's because he lapses into almost isolating himself. When he plays with us in the structure, I think he looked very interesting. So to answer that question, it's very possible he's going to get more game time, but that will always depend upon the player. And I just want to make him a better player, and then if he is a better player, I'm sure he'll play more.
Okay, another one, I'll treat this one, and I think there's two asked that question. On the issue of goalkeeping, Coach Baxter, Kune and Peterson got a chance today. Does it make it harder or easier for you to decide who the number one will be for the rest of the season, or is it a bit too early to tell?
Okay, well the goalkeeper coach, he's in Sweden at the moment. His wife is giving birth tomorrow. So he was on a Zoom with all the goalkeepers, and what he told the goalkeepers I can share with you. He told them that Kaizer Chiefs have got 4 number ones, and they are fighting. They can be number 4 one day, they can be playing the next day, and we're blessed. I mean, you saw Brandon's performance when he came on. He too was more like the Itu that I know from before when he played. His distribution and his shot stopping and his agility. So I think Itu's committed himself now to be, let's say, dedicated to going as far as he can go with his career. It's not over yet, and the other 3 are fighting him for that number 1 spot. So it gives us a headache, but that's a headache I'll take every day of the week.
Update on Kama?
Karma was a precaution. You know, Karma's been out for a long time. He came back and we rushed him in a way to be available for the final. He was sharp in the training up to the final, and I was tempted to start him, but he hadn't played any games, so it was probably wise not to give him more than a half. But we had planned that Karma would come in at half time. As it turned out, it was with 10 men, but Karma's injury was not the injury that he came off with tonight. He started cramping badly, which was an indication that fatigue was setting in, and we didn't want a hamstring to go or a groin to pop, so we took him. Even though it's an important game to get the result, we took him out.
You probably knew this one was going to come. Keegan Dolly, how far is he in terms of fitness and just getting him ready for the season?
Well, I'll be honest. We've taken Keegan, and we've taken Keegan in a situation where he hasn't played for quite a while, and he's had a period of inactivity that means that he's put on some weight, and that weight has got to go. And in the meantime, while he's doing that, he's going to learn how we play. So Keegan will be a bit away, I don't think. But if the players are playing like that, you know, they're putting their hands up to say that, well, Keegan, when you are fit, you'll have to throw your hat in the ring for a place. So Keegan's going to take a while, but I like Keegan Dolly as a player, and when he's fit, he will give us another dimension.
Fantastic stuff. Those are the questions from the focus rooms. I'll squeeze in a few from this side also. Okay, we've got 1, 2, 3. Right, we'll take those 3 and then we will wrap up. Thank you. Mark, you can go.
Thanks. Yes, Stuart, we haven't had a chance to ask you just on Dolly signing. Certainly, if there's any show of ambition, that's probably the biggest signing of the off-season so far by any club. It certainly sends a message in terms of Chiefs' ambition to rediscover the competitiveness. And the second one is just also, I know that you were asked about Sekota and Radebe, also Nange, very bright performances.
Yeah.
The expectation around Chiefs, it's similar to when you arrived the last time and you had a lot of good signings, and it resulted in obviously 2 League and Cup doubles in 3 years. there's going to be a lot of expectation. How do you manage the expectation? How far can you go? Because clearly there's a lot of excitement about this team.
I think when you bring new players into a club, it always creates expectation. I think our supporters' expectations are tempered by their, I won't say constant, but their relative disappointment in the last few seasons, apart from Ernst's title run. I think they're quite realistic. I think this will encourage them to be unrealistic tonight, because I think we played a lot of good stuff, and as you say, a lot of the new lads were very bright. None of the new players that have come have disappointed me. I thought there was enough shoots of green grass tonight to indicate that we may be able to make a pretty garden out of this one. But it will be difficult. It will be hard for them. They've got to prove that they're Chiefs players. I think some of them did tonight. They showed that they can play with a little bit of the pressure, the old enemy, and a bit of pressure. So, yeah, I think it's interesting. For me, the expectation. I'll give you a quote from Phil Jackson, who was the Chicago Bulls coach with Michael Jordan, and he'd won the league 2 years running, and he went out in the press conference and says, "We're going to win the league next year." And the players came to him and went, "Hey, boss, we've got to get out on the court and do that. You just put pressure on us." He says, "Make it a friend. Make it a friend. Don't dodge it. Make it a friend." So expectations, we don't dodge it. We do what we can. But you can't play with a knife at your throat. You've got to make a friend of it. Those expectations, we're top athletes, and we've got to make those demands upon ourselves. You can't promise winning leagues, you can't promise winning cups, but what you can promise is that you'll deal with the pressure and you'll give your best performance. And on the day that may not be good enough, but don't give it substandard because you couldn't handle the pressure.
Okay.
Dolly, sorry, just Dolly. Dolly, the signing of Dolly is one of the biggest.
And yeah, definitely. I think Keegan is a national player. He's a player that's moved abroad. He's undoubtedly a talent, and he's a good lad. He's a good lad. So I think he'll be wanting to get into shape as quickly as he can, and he wants to get on the field as quickly as he can. But it does send out a message, because Keegan wanted to come to us, and we could have ducked it, and we could have gone for a cheaper option, or we could have gone for a more obscure option, but we didn't dodge it, and I think that's a good message to the Chiefs fans.
Right.
Okay. Coach, congratulations on the victory.
Oh, there you go.
Coach.
Sorry, there we go. You keep hiding, I can't say.
No.
Okay.
Yeah. It sounds like 2012 once again. First official game, Sundowns, MTN 8. In terms of your key starting lineup, because you've always had a tricky situation. You come in very tight to the Champions League.
Yeah.
Literally, you don't have a proper preseason.
Yeah.
And how far are you in building this starting lineup? Are there some key areas that you feel maybe you still need to add here and there?
I think that's your question is very, very important for us, because we've been talking about, I came in towards the end of the season. I think there was 2 games left when I actually got involved in the club. So we had those last 2 games where we had to plan, me and the technical staff, to get through those 2 games, because we were in danger. We were in danger at that point. So get through those 2 games. That was the remit. Then you've got the semi-finals. Wydad. We got beat 4-0. Identify a game plan. Get through those 2 games. Then you've got the final. So Al Ahly, how are we going to play? Get through that game. So it's only really after Al Ahly, when we've got all the new players in, that we've actually started thinking bigger picture. So yeah, of course, some of the principles that we've been talking about will be involved, but the time, I think some of these boys have had 4 sessions with me. So we really need to identify. That was great tonight for me in terms of information. Identify: do we play 4-2-3-1? Do we play with 3 at the back? Do we play normal 4-3-3? So how do the players suit that shape? Is Bebo, all of that, is Bebo a candidate now? So all of that I've got to digest, and then we've got 1 week, we'll play a game, a friendly game, and then 1 week to Sundowns. So it is very, very similar. We don't have a lot of time, but as I say, I think the boys are doing really, really well. And maybe it'll be a work in progress the first couple of weeks into the season. But if we get off to a decent start and we're there or thereabouts, I think as we improve, I think we could be unpleasant to deal with a little bit further down the line.
Is there one area that...
Well, when I came in, everybody was telling me we can't keep a clean sheet and that, but I think we've kept 2 clean sheets against Wydad, who were a very, very good team. We've kept a clean sheet against Al Ahly while we had 11 men on the field. We kept a clean sheet against Orlando Pirates away from home. So I think we've dealt with that one a little bit. The team defending is a little bit more set, but I want us to commit to what we do. The way we did in the second half, I thought better. Commit to your counter pressing if you're going to go. If you're going to go, don't go 50-50. Commit to your combination play. Don't be doubtful. Believe in what we're doing, and I think that commitment comes from training. But that's the area that I think we need to, and I think we need to finish what we build. That's an area. Now, whether we need to go and recruit somebody at this moment, I don't know, because I'm still taking that information about the present staff. But we'll see. I'll hang that one on a peg, and we can take it down and discuss it in a bit later.
Right, fantastic. Thanks, Grandpa. Coach Stuart Baxter, Grandpa in waiting. I'm going to get Morena just to give us your best. Just share with us again, and maybe a message to those who, for years coming, would want to be in the same position.
I would like to say, Homotu Atlo general this competition next year. Especially support the Kaizer Chiefs, Atibeta high, and then on top of that, and Atiboro Watlang, Golifing. So for now, I think it was coming, and then it was waiting for me just to switch on. Like for now, I think for now, I'm still dreaming.
It's real, that medal is real.
Yeah, first medal ever since I've been involved in this industry of soccer. So I
play coaching, first medal.
So I wish to get it, but it's a pity I didn't get it in that way. Support it game this thing is a calling and I saw it coming. I lost this game on media, on Twitter, on Facebook, everywhere I lost this game. People were saying, this guy is young, this guy doesn't look confident, this guy doesn't look like he knows his story. And I accepted I lost the game. That's where I lost. I accept the loss. But I knew when I'm going to meet the team, the scenario is going to change. I've been told about the script. Script has been written. I didn't even see it. But it's fine. I lost. And I'm happy today I won this medal. I'm definitely happy. I would like to thank my parents, grandparents who took their time to raise me, and everyone who's been supporting me. Lelona for your own time.
Can I say sometimes it's difficult, when the coaches come in, it's difficult for them to find the right balance. Either they're treading on people's toes, or they're so quiet that you don't know they're there. If I'm going to compliment the coach here, he came in, he took part, he knew when to step back, he knew when we were doing our work, he knew when he could give something, and I think he's done really, really well. I think he's enjoyed it because he approached it in the right way, and I think the lads have appreciated it.
Absolutely.